Alright, this time up against Kykar, Wind's Fury with ramp and lands in hand, so no reason not to keep that. Our opponent is on the play here. Into a Garruk, let's just get a tap land out of the way so that we don't have to shock it down later. Just playing another tap land and passing it to us. Let's go for the Nature's Law. And while we've got the deck open, let's see if we want to go for anything with crop rotation. We could get Field of the Dead out of the way. Don't actually mind that, so let's go for Bayou. We could go for Wasteland if we wanted to be really mean, but I'm not particularly interested in doing that. So we sacrifice the forest and we go for Field of the Dead, which hopefully we can trigger later on in the game. It's also a tap land that again gets the tap land out of the way. I'm always very worried about the fact that I might be short on 1 mana, and that 1 mana might be the difference between us winning and losing the game. So if I were to draw into a land that I needed, but it was a tap land, then that'd feel pretty bad. So getting them out of the way early is always a good thing, I think. Vorinclex, we really don't need Vorinclex, so let's... Do we want Phyrexian Arena? I think Phyrexian Arena's fine here. And then we will go Verdant Catacombs. And we'll drop a Swamp just so that we can go for Raven's Crime. This will make our opponent discard a card. And they decide to get rid of Narset, part of the Veil, so what on earth is in their hand if they want to get rid of that? Might just be that they don't have another blue source. Well, might be also that they just drew into Reflecting Pool. And this looks like Kykar, because they've got the Jeskai mana. And there is Kykar, Wind's Fury. Followed by a Mana Crypt. Yeah, we could do with one of those ourselves here. And they go for Cathar's Shield, so it looks like a bunch of means of getting some spirits into play. Yeah, with Cheerio-style artifacts. They're going to empty their hand really quickly, though. And these things don't really do anything other than make spirits. Well, there's a Skull Clamp, so this is one hell of a hand our opponent's got. Narset, Skull Clamp, Mana Crypt. And they clamp one of the spirits and instantly go up to 3 cards again. Then sacking a spirit to get red, to get rid of another spirit to Skull Clamp, so they've only got 1 spirit left now, but 5 cards in hand. Then sacking a spirit for red, and putting the clamp onto Kykar. If Kykar dies, it won't trigger the Skull Clamp unless it goes into the graveyard. Doesn't trigger on going into the command zone, but that does give Kykar a +1 buff to power. We're going to draw 2 cards thanks to Phyrexian Arena, and they have to be good ones. Well, it was actually a land I was hoping for there. If we play Garruk Wildspeaker and untap 2 lands, we can go for Lotus Cobra, but then this swings in and kills it off straight away. I think we have to go for Lotus Cobra in the hope that we get into a land next turn, preferably a fetch. But missing land drops in a Lands Matter deck is not good. Drop the Exploration as well and get on with our opponent's turn, who is no doubt going to run away with the game now. Swiftfoot Boots first of all. So our spot removal is going to be null and void. Immediately putting the boots onto Kykar. Playing a Temple of the False God for the land of the turn. Then deciding to swing in with Kykar. They've got 6 cards in hand, so I think they'll have more things to play. But deciding not to, they just pass the turn over to us and we get into those lands. Could have done with one of those last turn. So let's go for Nurturing Peatland first of all. That will trigger our Lotus Cobra. Might go for a Wasteland on my opponent this turn. We'll name green with that. And then we get the Gitrog Monster out, and that will allow us to play another land this turn. Okay, but going for... Well, apparently should have gone for the wasteland first off. So we're not having the best of luck here, are we? We'll get to draw some cards at least. Let's go for the wasteland. We can still get another land down thanks to exploration. Doesn't matter because we don't get to do anything this turn. We will, however, take our opponent off of blue mana, hopefully. Reflecting Pool only taps for colours of mana that you could produce on any of your lands. So let's pass like that and continue to try our luck. At the beginning of our opponent's turn, they'll draw a card off of Arcane Denial, but we'll draw a couple as well. And at this point, because our opponent's gotten off to such a good start, I'm not above wastelanding their lands here. So Crucible or Raminap would be very welcome. And there we are. Talked it up. Crucible. So, fingers crossed. They get straight into a blue source. Yeah, I think I'll definitely go for Wasteland onto Glacial Fortress. It does depend on us being able to get down Crucible though. What we could do actually is try and enchant the Glacial Fortress so that it becomes a forest. And they skull clamped another spirit there after the welding jar. Maybe we should actually go for Song of the Dryads onto the skull clamp because they're getting way too much use out of that. Tapping down their blue mana for a bribery. Well, we've got Vorinclex in hand at least. But we do have Primeval Titan, which might put us out of range of wastelanding our opponent to death. Yeah, that's a shame. Our opponent does go for Primeval Titan. Had they not have gone for that, they wouldn't have been able to get multiple lands out a turn. So we would be able to outrace them with Wasteland. We could still go for Song of the Dryads onto Prime Time. And then they're not getting out multiple lands a turn at least. We could even Wasteland the forest that is Prime Time. Oh, and then they go for Lotus Field. That's intriguing. So they sacrifice their basic island and their basic plains when they know that we have a Wasteland. They don't know we can play it from the graveyard, in all fairness to them, but yeah, I think going for a Wasteland on these two is a good idea. No, we're not out of it yet. Problem is they can give the Primetime haste here. Oh, but they don't see it, or they just choose not to go for it. So just swinging in at us with Kykar. We've got some time here. It's not looking promising, but we've got time. Hopefully they don't put the boots onto the Primeval Titan. They do not. That's really good. Alright, and there's some lands. We definitely need to go for the Crucible first. Exploration is going to do some work here. Then we go for Wasteland. And we will add green. Lotus Cobra doing some work as well. This way we can play Wasteland twice and still have enough mana to go for Song of the Dryads. So let's go for Song of the Dryads onto the Prime Time. That gets rid of that. Then we Wasteland on... Why can't we Wasteland this? Oh, it's hexproof, okay. Right, well in that case, I think that taps for 3 mana of any one colour. Well, it still screws their mana, so let's go after that. Really just playing to our outs here. These aren't the types of plays that I like to make, but there's not really anything else we can do, and we're probably still going to lose. Wasteland on the Reflecting Pool as well. Yeah, I forgot about this, having hexproof. That's actually going to be relevant for our opponent. Next turn, I think we... Oh, and actually as well, we could have gone for black and gone for Raven's Crime. Don't think it matters because our opponent's got plenty of cards. But hopefully they're only going to be able to make 1 land a turn, whereas we can blow up 2 lands a turn, so they're always going to be behind. So if we can keep their mana out of play, they shouldn't be able to go for too much. Getting rid of Mana Crypt would be really good as well, because they can still clamp is the problem. But anything they draw into, hopefully they're not going to be able to cast. in a few turns and opt for our opponent, scry one and draw. And that's a good thing as well, that they have to tap down their blue mana to do that, all of their blue mana. And dropping a colourless land, that's not good. It's good for us. And I really want to get rid of the Primeval Titan land before they blow up Song of the Dryads. Okay, a time reversal. Each player shuffles their hand and graveyard into their library and draws 7. Here's hoping we draw back into the Wasteland. We do not. But we've got a fresh grip of cards in hand. We can go for Reclamation Sage onto the Mana Crypt. Or the Skull Clamp. I think we have to go for the Skull Clamp there, don't we? And they're clamping again. They've already made their land for the turn. Then a Spellbook. You have no max hand size. That's just to get a spirit, I imagine. I wonder if it's worth us going for the Bane of Progress, because we'd lose stuff as well in that. I think it might be, although it gives them back the Primeval Titan, doesn't it? Because it blows this up. So yeah, probably not, now that I think about it. Followed by a Thought Vessel. They're just getting multiple spirits on the go. But they're struggling on coloured mana is their problem. Probably going for another Skull Clamp here, and they are. But it's going on to Kykar, not going on to their spirit. So they're knocking us down by 4 again. And we go down to 12. Then draw some more cards. Do not get into Wasteland. Okay, well let's go for the Reclamation Sage first of all. We want rid of Skull Clamp. It's almost irrelevant now because they've got 9 cards in hand, but still. Then we can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. So it might be worth going for Vorinclex. Or trying to outrace them with Avenger of Zendikar. How does that sound? Might force them into a board wipe. Well, yeah, let's go Wooded Foothills. Adding green. Verdant Catacombs. Triggering Field of the Dead. We're going to get some zombies on the go now. And we'll add green again. Then it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think we can get away with leaving a fetch uncracked until after the Avenger comes out. So let's drop a forest. Trigger Field of the Dead again. No, we do have to go for Verdant Catacombs actually. Could we go for Skyshroud Claim? We'd get 2 into play. That'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we might as well do that actually. Or we could just wait until... Yeah, we'll wait to do that next turn when Avenger of Zendikar's lands are out. The plant tokens are out. So what do we want here? We'll get another forest. Oh, and we actually don't have... We've switched off our own Field of the Dead there. We didn't get Field of the Dead triggers. Oh well, we can switch it back on again next turn. Because we don't have the different names with the fetches being down. We'll drop the Avenger of Zendikar and we can get a lot of plant tokens here. And they're going to get buffed up a lot next turn as well. So we might be able to claw it back here, but I'm not too hopeful. I bet they've got at least 1 board wipe in hand if they're desperate. And they also dodge the Mana Crypt, so that doesn't help us. Luck might not be on our side today. Noteworthy that they've gotten back into their Reflecting Pool. I think they must have just dropped that this turn. Tapping Jeskai colours. And going for Jeskai Ascendancy. That might do it. If they can buff their creatures enough. They've got 5 in the air currently, so they just need a couple of buffs here, I think. And this might be a wheel. No, it is a Darksteel Ingot. Yeah, they're going to be able to get it off of the Jeskai Ascendancy. +1/+1 to all of their creatures when they cast a non-creature spell. So that's unfortunate. We had to play to our outs, and I think trying to outrace our opponent was the best way to go there. It's noteworthy that we also could have gone for Decree of Pain cycled. But I didn't know that my opponent had a Jeskai Ascendancy in hand, obviously. They are now looking at our hand and drawing a card. And then looking at our hand again and drawing a card again. They've got enough damage now and they know what's in our hands, so they needn't mess around anymore. I'm gonna have to scoop it up if our opponent keeps playing around. And casting more spells, which is needless. We'll just leave it there then. Not gonna have my time disrespected. So there we go, it's a good game to my opponent. I think we were just way too slow there. It would have been a really good comeback had we have managed to come back from that. Maybe during editing I will see some line of plays that I could have gone for, but that's hindsight for you. Yeah, maybe going for Ancient Tomb instead of the Field of the Dead might have been a better idea as well, so that we would have had an extra mana, because we did miss a land drop for at least a turn there, I think. But that was a good wheel by our opponent, getting rid of our Wasteland. I think had we have kept our Wasteland around for another turn, then we would have been able to get some more stuff going there, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Our opponent played it well. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.